How to break someone's ego. 1. Starve the ego. Don't feed it. An ego doesn't grow on its own. It grows because someone feeds it. It thrives on attention, reactions, validation, or even conflict. Anything that makes it feel significant. The biggest mistake people make when dealing with an ego-driven person is giving them the exact fuel they crave. They argue, they defend themselves, they try to prove their worth, and in doing so, they inflate the other person's sense of superiority. But the moment you remove your emotional energy, the ego starts collapsing in on itself. Silence becomes your weapon. Indifference becomes your shield. When you stop reacting, they lose their grip. When you stop trying to make them understand, they lose power. Ego needs an audience. Without one, it dies. You don't have to insult them, confront them, or teach them a lesson. You simply choose not to play their game. And nothing breaks an ego faster than realizing you're no longer impressed, intimidated, or affected. Starving the ego is not revenge, it's strategy, and it works every single time. 2. Control your emotions, and you control the power. Ego-driven people feed off emotional reactions. They want to see you angry, frustrated, insecure, or flustered. The moment you show emotion, they feel superior, but the moment you remain calm, composed, unshaken, their entire foundation begins to tremble. Emotional control isn't about being cold, it's about being disciplined. It's about recognizing that every reaction is a form of currency, and you choose who gets to earn it. When you respond slowly and intelligently, you shift the entire dynamic. You show them you're not in competition with them. You're not playing their game. You're not seeking approval. This terrifies people whose identity depends on feeling bigger than others. When you control your emotions, you reveal their weakness. You expose how fragile their ego truly is. Because deep down, confident people don't need control. Only insecure ones do. Your calmness becomes a mirror, reflecting their inner chaos. And the more stable you remain, the more unstable they feel. That is how you take back control, without saying a single aggressive word. 3. Set boundaries they cannot cross. One of the most powerful ways to break someone's ego is by setting firm boundaries, the kind they are not used to facing. Ego-driven individuals expect access to your time, your energy, your patience, and your emotional space. They believe they can interrupt you, dismiss you, or manipulate your attention whenever they wish. So when you suddenly create boundaries, they feel threatened. When you say no, when you say I'm not available, or this doesn't work for me, their ego immediately reacts. It feels rejected, blocked, and challenged. But this is where your strength shows. Boundaries aren't about punishing someone, they're about protecting your peace. They force the other person to confront the fact that you are not theirs to control. When you stop being easily accessible, they lose their sense of superiority. When you stop explaining yourself, they lose their leverage. And when you stop tolerating disrespect, their ego suffocates. Boundaries are a silent declaration of self-worth, and nothing destroys an ego faster than realizing you cannot be controlled, manipulated, or guilt-tripped. 4. Stop trying to prove yourself to them. Ego-driven people want you to believe you're not good enough. They want to feel smarter, more capable, more important, or more powerful than you. So they constantly create situations where you're compelled to explain, justify, or defend yourself. Don't. The moment you stop trying to prove your worth, their ego loses the upper hand. When you speak with calm certainty, when you trust your decisions, and when you no longer seek their validation, they feel small, because their ego relies on comparison. It needs someone to look down on. When you remove yourself from that equation, when you stop participating in that dynamic, they don't know what to do. Confidence threatens ego. Self-assurance destroys ego. When you know who you are, no one can rank you, judge you, or belittle you into submission. You rise above the petty competition they create, because you understand your value is not determined by their opinion. The moment you stop competing with them, they realize they never had the power. They only had the illusion of it. 5. Let their own behavior expose them. The most powerful way to break someone's ego is also the simplest. Let their own behavior destroy them. Ego-driven individuals always overplay their hand. They exaggerate their importance. They talk too much. They interrupt too often. They brag unnecessarily. And they disrespect people without realizing the consequences. But when you stay grounded, composed, and observant, they eventually expose themselves. You don't have to call them out. You don't have to humiliate them. Their ego does the job for you. People around them start noticing the arrogance, the insecurity, the attention-seeking, the lack of humility, and as their reputation cracks, their ego cracks with it. Meanwhile, your silence, your discipline, and your self-control highlight the contrast. You win not by attacking them, but by being everything they cannot be. Their ego breaks when they realize the world does not revolve around them, and you never needed their validation in the first place. Sometimes the greatest power is simply letting time reveal the truth, while you walk forward with dignity and strength. And here's the truth. An ego-driven person cannot stand someone who sees through them. They cannot handle someone who refuses to bend to their illusions. They break because you're not playing their game. You rise as they fall. You grow as they shrink. You stay calm while their ego cracks wide open. Not because you wanted to hurt them, but because you refuse to lower yourself to match them. In the end, the strongest move you can make is this: let their ego destroy itself, while you walk away in total peace.